here. What's up, everybody? It's your favorite gimmicks, favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the SH Figuarts Phasma from The Last Jedi along with BB-8. I'm calling him BB-8 from now till forever. It's BB-9E, but you know, everybody's calling him BB-8, and that's a much cooler name. He's an exclusive. He came part of a 2-set that you had to buy. We're going to talk about that hustle when we get to the end of the video. And it is a hustle, please believe me. I know a hustle when I see one. It's not my first rodeo. That being said, I fell for it because I'm a sucker and because I love Star Wars. But whatever, it worked on me, so I'm sure it worked on others. And with that being said, we're going to take a look at the accessories to Phasma, and then we'll get to BB-8. And she comes with 4 weapons. She comes with her long spear. Now, if you guys have been listening to Nerd Rage Radio, you'll know that we talked about this spear long before it was ever revealed. Nerd Rage Radio has been pretty much up to date with all of the accurate spoilers in terms of The Last Jedi, and I'm happy to be a part of that. That being said, it has this chrome-ish silver finish on it, and then a little black paint and the small details. She also comes with a smaller version of it, which makes me believe that it will extend. The reason why I say that is not only is this the identical design of the other, but there's also one on her belt, which we'll talk about later. Interesting. Done the same way. She also comes with her blaster. This is a bit different than the one that she came with her Force Awakens blaster, which had more of a gold accent to it. This is totally silver and black. Same kind of design, but other than that, the color is just different. Sculpt is amazing. Same with this, same as the one that she had in Force Awakens. I believe she had it on her hip, but I don't see one on the SH Figuarts. That being said, I think she did have one. Either way, same design as I feel like we've seen before. Great sculpt work and silver paint. Of course, it's Figuarts, so we come with a wide array of hands, including the 2 fist hands we saw in the opening footage. We have 2 relaxed hands for both sides. We have a pistol hand only for the right side that will hold the blaster. Now we have another like supporting blaster hand on the left side, but we don't have the same options for both sides, which is a bit of a bummer. And then we have 2 fist hands that will hold their spears, like their fist hands with open ports. So that is unfortunate because there's no pistol grip hand for the opposite side. So you have to have the kind of the blaster or the pistol in one hand and then the spear in the other, and it's kind of dictated to you if you want to have her display both. And then we have what's commonly referred to as BB-8, which is also known as BB-9E. And this is an interesting little fella. So it's on a double ball peg, like the head here. I already put it on. I don't know if it's going to come off. There you go. So it's a double ball peg, one ball peg going down into the base of the body, long peg, and then another ball joint where the head goes on. And then, so it swivels on there and then it kind of moves around. Detailing-wise, we have all these gray grates and then red and blue kind of paint jobs underneath. I'm guessing to simulate light. And then we have the eye there with a little bit of red paint. We have nice sculpt work and detailings throughout. All the paint is extremely clean. It's a very glossy plastic and it looks beautiful. I think this is great. Now I did buy, it also comes with this plastic base with the little circle dug out, so you can sit it on. Now I did pretty much buy Phasma and this trooper in order to get this BB unit. So I, of course rather, I am biased, but I have to admit that I do feel satisfied. But I'm a huge Star Wars fan, you know, so that may be part of it. All right, so it's that time. We get to talk about the figure, which is my favorite part of the show. The head is on a double ball peg from the head to the neck. I knew this because I snapped the head off in order to get that picture that you saw at the opening footage. And then the neck is on a double ball peg from the neck to the chest. Chest seems to be on a double ball peg from the chest to the abdomen. Abdomen seems to be on a single ball peg from the abdomen to the pelvis. So that should clear away that. It does have a more chrome version of her armor than the previous release, but only slightly. I know some people like that super mirror look. I personally do not. I like it to look a little worn in, so I'm good with this. If you want it to look super mirrored, this isn't the one for you. That being said, the sculpt work is super tight, as is the paint accents throughout. We have glossy paint and flat paints to kind of differentiate. You know, if you really watch my reviews and you really watch what kind of gets my, I don't know, my heart beating, so to speak, You know that I love different textures in paint. So I love when there's flat paints and matte paints and satin paints and glossy paints and all that. And this does have that. So that's a big plus for me. Let's continue talking. So articulation wise with just the head, you can get down to there, up to there, a little bit more without the cape, and then the swivel. Confused dog look, no problem. The cape is a softer plastic than we got before, I feel like. You do have all the textured details. All of this stuff, I've seen other reviewers review Phasma figures and not know what this is about. All of this stuff, these little like ribbons and little pouches and all that, is supposed to be able to fasten the cloak around her like a robe. Theoretically, you take all the stuff and it all has a place and it wraps up and keeps her, you know, completely covered by the cloak. Red trim. It is painted clean, but the paint isn't very vibrant, and I feel like it was a little bit more vibrant in the films. Something worth noting. All right, so the double ball peg here gets you down to there, which is a crazy angle. You do lose some sculpt back there. I don't think that's the biggest deal in the world. If you use the bottom one, you get even more. Using both to go the opposite way, you get a great range, super sass, and all sorts of swivel. So that works. Great sculpted details in the armor, including all of this stuff, which is also painted in the little notches and stuff throughout, even on the back, which the cloak does cover. So well done. We have a disc hinge, or is it a ball hinge? Disc hinge for the shoulder. Get you out to there. We have the shoulder plate on a ball joint on a hinge, so you can manipulate that in order to get it around where you need it, and then cover down on the joint in order to kind of give you some solidarity of the look. And then you get the swivel around. Bicep swivel at the armor plate, which is perfect. Double jointed elbow. Well done there. The elbow joint is even sculpted. I love little stuff like that. The wrist swivels. It's also replaceable. Let's take it off. Ball peg to a ball hinge, and this should swivel. It does at both the forearm and the hand, so you can get any sort of pose that you want just by manipulating one or the other. Same for the other side. For the belt, it's an extra piece that seems to be glued on, and then all of the pouches are on small hinges that can get out of the way to allow for hip articulation, which is nice. Most of them have silver, the same silver finish on them, but some just have the straight, I thought there was some with the straight black. I guess I'm wrong. So all of them have some element of silver and then the straight black. No issues. We also have the spear being holstered on her side. Let's see if we can take that off. Yes, you can. So apparently she holsters that on her belt. I love stuff like that. I got that from Mickey from Toy Detox. If you're up on the Cool Table Network, Toy Detox is a podcast show that talks about toys, but the cool thing about them is they talk about more than toys. And they call it toilers. When something comes out about the toy, that gives you a little insight into the movie. So that's definitely a toiler there. And then we have universal joints for hips, which is not, it's not uncommon, but it's not super common either. And that gets you, if you manipulate the thigh, out to there. So almost the full Van Damme. And all the way forward. Not a whole lot back, but you shouldn't need that. Thigh swivel. Double jointed knee. You do have the gun. This is, oh no, it does. It pegs in and out. It's just a tight little tolerance. I tried to unpeg it before and I couldn't get it to go, so I thought it was glued in. So that's cool. So you do get the double jointed knee. It's actually super cool because you get it to peg in and you get a separate gun for her to hold, so you don't have to have the gun with the pegs to hold in her hand. I love little stuff like that. They didn't have to do that. Ankles, you get a tilt. No tilt. I thought you got a tilt. But you do get the rocker. So that's good, I guess, and a toe hinge. So that's also nice. Back of the figure cleans up well, obviously, with the cloak, and even without the cloak, it still cleans up fairly well. So really a well done and well executed Phasma. But size is important, and we're going to talk about that. All right, so I'm going to show you a few size comparisons. There's her to the left, and the old version rather on the right. Now, there's the Finn from Black Series. There is the Executioner Trooper from Black Series. And there is Kylo Ren from SH Figuarts. So They definitely did make her the taddest bit taller. It's not super tall compared to the original, but it definitely is slightly, ever so slightly, I feel like, taller. Which is nice, because that was a criticism of the original. Either way, I think she fits in quite nicely. She's a little bit slender, but you can make the argument that some of the Black Series stuff is a little too broad. Now, I heard, shout out to Mechanic, that there are people watching the Star Wars reviews only for the skits. But here's the joke, and it's on you. I'm not doing a skit for this video. Wait, does this count as the... Final thoughts wise, unfortunately for most, I think this is kind of perfectly executed. That is, unless you want that super mirrored chrome armor. But if you wanted to feel a little bit lived in, a little bit dirty, a little bit worn in, this is the Phasma for you. But I have to be honest, other than this size, it's not that much greater than the previous version. I mean, even the cloak. I mean, there's not that big of an upgrade here. So look, let's talk about the positives and negatives, and then we'll talk about my kind of feelings about this, right? Positives wise, the articulation, the feel, the plastics, everything is pretty much perfect, really. I mean, like, there's really nothing I have a huge complaint with other than the lack of ankle tilt up and down. But for a figure like Phasma, you're not really going to use it anyway. That being said, it would still be nice to have it. You're paying a fairly premium price for a 1/12 scale figure, so you should get it. Now, let me explain this to you. I only truly feel like this is worth getting if you're getting this. If you're not getting this, this isn't that much of a significant upgrade to that. That being said, I have a feeling this is going to be fairly important to The Last Jedi. I know what it's like to be a Star Wars fan. I know how things like this can matter. If this matters to you, and this matters to you, my advice is to go on this gal and this fella in order to get that droid, and I think you'll be satisfied. Just buying her on her own as I hit the camera, I don't think it will do it for you. I think you'll feel cheated, especially if you already have this Phasma. So I hope that helps. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.